What is going on, guys? DPS Podcast, episode 101. 101. We get to start a brand new chapter in the DPS saga. And if you didn't know, you can go over to the DPS Podcast channel and sub to it. Had a lot of stuff that we talked about last week. We put some videos up over there talking about Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan. So if you want to hear our conversation on that and just that bite-sized information, go check out the channel. We're going to drop it down in the we'll drop the link to the channel down below throughout the channel so you guys that come in can actually check that out. But with that being said, we are here and I am with the one, the only, the man of many slaps, the man, the myth, the legend. Still hasn't made a video, but it's okay because he's going to tell us at the end of this show that he's going to make one. Slow-mo backslap, how are you doing, sir?
Yo, I'm good. What's up, bro? How's it going, man?
It's
Hope you're having a good day. Much better day than me. I'm not feeling that hot, but it's all right. I don't think it's COVID, so I can take solace in that. But no. I did drop the video, the channel link in the chat for you guys. But no, we gonna have a good show regardless, and let's do it, man.
Yeah, man. Always have a great show and here with the homie. And I did see a message from somebody in the chat. Shout out to Capono. He was asking, I wonder what slow-mo plays to prepare for the show. So I don't know if he's talking about music or video games. So why don't you just go? Matter of fact, what do you do to prepare for the show?
I don't do any. Okay, look. Okay, I don't do anything if I'm hosting, I'm preparing the topics, and I'm making sure I got, like Forte, who just plays Destiny gameplay for the entire entirety of the show.
Except
I
for the Nintendo part, because the Nintendo part I am not risking it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I have stuff for the PlayStation event.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean that'll be a first, but still,
Oh my god.
I tend to make sure I got video content that kind of matches what the topics are, what we're talking about. And sometimes that takes time. Either I don't have the video in my on my YouTube SSD, or or I gotta go search it and find it and record it myself. So, and sometimes I'll just, if it's a game I own or have access to, I'll just give you some gameplay for it real quick, even if it's a game I don't give a crap about. Like that time we were talking about Splinter Cell. I went and played Splinter Cell, even though it turned out to be a pretty decent game.
Did you play Conviction or did you play Blacklist?
Conviction. What's the most recent one?
Blacklist.
Blacklist is the one I played.
Okay. The one with the different Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the one. It's the one that had.
Who does not have Michael Ironside as a voice?
Yeah, I definitely can tell the difference, but it wasn't. I mean, it was a decent game.
I think it's a really good
think
game.
there's some people get upset and like it's not Michael Ironside. I don't give a crap, which is also kind of like the reason why you just don't change voice actors for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
343 almost learned that lesson. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
No,
I didn't answer the question.
Oh yeah,
I was rambling. I don't really play anything as far as games or music before preparing for the show. I do like to listen to the intro, the countdown music, because I will like turn that on for 2 or 3 minutes while we're getting prepared, because that music's just really, really good. It's fire. But other than that, no, I'm just trying to get everything prepared around the house and make sure the family's good, so they're not bothering me during the show.
Yep.
And that's about it, really.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, shout out to that guy Smitty. He was here really early, like 8:30. Shout out to him. Shout out to Spider. Shout out to Capono. Rizar, shout out to you. Rodimus, shout out to you. The homie Slow-Mo dropped the links in the chat. Blade X, we are in the midst of royalty, Slow-Mo. Shout out to Blade
But
X, the
Blade X
weapon wheel Fortnite champ.
I mean, there was a lot of people that won that night. I guess, like he did win, and I think a squad team that won, a group of squads. So it was like him and I can't remember who else was in that team. But yeah, he did win with a group. So shout out to Blade X.
Shout out. Well, Blade X is here, so he's the champ to us. If any other champs want to show up from that night, they will acknowledge you. But as of right now, Blade X is the only champ we know because he's part of the DPS family. So shout out to him. Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Mixie Dies a Lot. I'm a Rich Swag Lord. Shout out, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody else that comes through. But yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the first thing, the thing that Slow-Mo can't stand, which is Nintendo, because he doesn't want to buy their platform anymore, but he wants to play all their games on the Steam Deck. He don't want to play them anywhere else but on the Steam Deck. So Slow-Mo. But first of all, we're not
playing where they perform well.
Okay, whatever. First of all, we're not going to go.
No, it doesn't matter. The performance doesn't matter. The game, okay.
Okay, well it does. Okay, so we're not going to go through the entire list because they showed off a lot. We will just pull out some standout titles and stuff. But what excited you the most?
Oh, you already know.
Yeah, I know. I just want you to tell our fans what excited you the most from this Nintendo Direct that they talked about.
Fire Emblem Engage.
That was the first thing they showed too.
First thing after that, I was like, "This is a good show." Like I don't care what they could have showed. Absolutely, they could have showed Pikmin 1 through 20 for the rest of the show. For the other hour and a half, 90 minutes, whatever, and I've been like, "Man, that's a great show, man." They show Fire Emblem Engage, so that's all I cared about, really. Fire Emblem Engage is I'm now a Fire Emblem fan after 3 houses. I really enjoyed that game. Beat it 3 times. Once I finally do the emulation on my Steam Deck, which I keep forgetting to do because I don't know. I just keep forgetting. One of the games that I'm definitely going to play again is Fire Emblem 3 Houses again. Just because I never did the Golden Deer playthrough. I did Blue Lions and I did the 2 different story arcs for Black Eagle, and I never did Golden Deer. I started Golden Deer and I never finished it. So I'd love to go back through that again. As far as Fire Emblem Engage goes, I see what some people were saying about like the protagonist looks like his hair, their hair, because it could be a male or a female. Their hair looks like a bomb pop.
Yeah,
exploded on their head or something. So like, yeah, that looks terrible. Regardless, I feel like people will just get over it. Game looks great, and it's more Fire Emblem, so I'm not complaining. I can't wait to play that. But yeah, that was part of the game. The one thing I enjoy seeing the most, and when that comes out, I definitely will make sure that I have Steam Deck emulation all set to go, because I'm not going to miss out on that day one. As soon as it's available, I'm going to be jumping on that.
Buy a Switch and play it on its native platform.
I could do that, if I
mean, you said if they gave you games to play, you would buy a Switch.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You said if they gave you more than one game to play.
That was before I even owned the Switch, and then I bought a Switch, and then I sold it because
you just kept it.
Why?
Because you never listen. You never know when good games are gonna come. Now you gotta play it on a. I mean, I'm not going to say inferior platform. It's not.
It is not inferior. It's actually the superior platform.
Steam Deck is definitely not an inferior platform. But then you got to jump through, like you said, all the hoops of emulation and stuff just to, play a great game.
It's really not that big of a hoop.
You still haven't done it yet, though.
Yeah, but the people who have done it said it was super easy.
Okay, well, people also say making videos are easy. You still ain't done that either, so.
What are you talking about? Like, it's funny you keep bringing up making videos when, like, for a long time I was making videos like 2 or 3 videos a week. You were making 0.
Yeah, you stopped. That's all. Let's keep
Yeah,
going.
and so I already know about how easy or difficult making videos is.
I'm just giving you
That's
crap.
different than
But
Switch emulation on a Steam Deck that you don't even own.
who Steam Deck?
You know, yeah, you don't own a Steam Deck. So what are you
Oh
talking
no, I
about?
have a PC.
So
If I leave my house to play games, I'm gonna do it on the Switch. No, not really. Barely even
no,
do that
no,
anymore.
you. This,
I only do that every morning when I go to the bathroom to play Tetris.
why have a Switch that you'll play games with when you are
Oh well,
outside the house when you can have a Steam Deck that will play Xbox games, PlayStation games, Steam PC games, and Nintendo games?
because I want to support the developer. I want to support Nintendo.
Okay, well buy the games and
No,
still emulate them.
that ain't gonna happen. That ain't definitely gonna happen. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if I don't have a Switch and I have to be forced, I'm telling you, I'm a realist. Ain't nobody buying no Switch games. I don't care how illegal it is. Ain't nobody buying no Switch games if they got a
It's not
Steam Deck.
illegal.
It is illegal to pirate games.
Who says they were pirating?
Oh Lord, here we go. We talking semantics now. Shout out the Elder Cat. Shout out the Cat Daddy Lurk. You know, the best DMR shooter in Fortnite. Shout out to you, bro. Y'all first of all, y'all put up a bunch of dubs the other day. You Luca and wasn't Taz
Yes.
what you do? Yeah, y'all
Yeah, we won 4 matches in one night, and then in 3 of them we won in a row. It was pretty cool. It was fun.
yeah, that's what's
There's a
up.
lot of teamwork going on. There was a lot of cooperation. A lot of Luca claiming that, like, see slow mo. This is what teamwork looks like. You know, kind of comments every 5 minutes. So, but it was fun. It was fun. We had a great time.
Shout out to Aronovitz with the $5 super chat. Says I buy Switch games because I support the GameStop clerks. Hey, listen, man. In some stores, in some states, that's exactly what they are. Clerks. You're right. They just, hey, what you want for your Switch? Oh, that no recommendations or anything. Just say, oh yeah, okay. They'll even probably ask if you want a warranty on that, do they? They probably do ask you that. 'Cause
And
that's
those are the best kind of clerks. Then
oh
stop asking me for
don't
warranties,
ask me
man.
for warranties.
Don't ask me nothing, man.
Just let me buy this system
If
and
I
get
if
them
I
out of
wanted the
here.
warranty, I'll let you know I want the warranty.
Well, that's why people do. That's why a lot of people do the pick up at store option, where they can just bypass the counter, just be like, "Hey, just hand me my product so I can go." I already paid for this. No, of course I don't want a warranty. I didn't buy. I didn't click on the box when I bought it on your website. But yeah. So Slumber, what else, man? I know it can't just be Fire Emblem. It's got to be something else on that list. It's they show like 26 games.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a game that, like, I mean, I wasn't super interested in it because I haven't played the previous ones, but just based off of the strength of the people who are big RPG fans that are enjoying it, I definitely gonna have to play that one too. But that's already out. Aside from the Nintendo Direct, I can't remember. I mean, it's
Uh,
a kind of a fog at this point. Everything after Fire
so
Emblem Engage,
they
like,
show okay, so after Fire Emblem Engage, they show It Takes Two, which is finally coming to the Switch, which is great.
well, I mean, I played it already. We haven't finished
We ain't
it, but
finished, but we played it.
I'm not playing it on the Switch. No,
Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
no,
Did you talk
yeah.
about Xenoblade Chronicle 3? The new expansion Wave 2 is coming out.
Oh wow,
Who
already.
who cares
That's
about
nice.
SpongeBob? I mean, some people care about SpongeBob, but not too many people.
Yeah, no, yeah, not me.
They're coming out with a fitness boxing version of Fist of the North Star, which nobody probably asked for.
Yeah, that's so
That
weird.
was like a Fist
That's
of the
a
North Star fitness boxing game.
like if it was just say if you just said Fist of the North Star game, I would be interested because the anime was actually
It
pretty
was
good.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, even some of the live adaptation movies they did were pretty good. But fitness, like, that's such a weird flex. But all right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
definitely. Then Oddballers, which
No,
yeah. Then Tunic, which is finally come to Switch.
No,
Which Tunic is a good. Did you even play it on Xbox or PC?
dude, we talked about it. We actually had the
I know
entire
we had an
episode where we
episode where
talked
we
about
talked about you.
impressions.
Yeah, it was good. I liked
It
it.
was good. I'm just not playing it again.
First mission, first, second, and third remake. Did you ever play any of the first missions?
No.
Oh, you didn't say so. Almost like this is a pass. Story of
Mhm.
Seasons. Story of Seasons is actually a sleeper for a lot of people. Like it's not like Animal Crossing, but a lot of people definitely jump into those type of games for the simplicity of what they offer and stuff. Splatoon 3 Splatfest, which is actually coming up. Slow Mo, have you ever played a Splatoon game before?
No.
You should. Splatoon 3 is it might be one of the most definitive shooters out there.
Sounds great.
You didn't laugh when I said it. Why not?
Yeah, because I know it's sarcasm.
No, it's not. I'm so serious.
You're not serious, bro.
Slow mo. Listen, Splatoon 3 is really freaking good, bro. Like, it is eerily good. It's like good to the point where you're like, is this actually a Nintendo game made by first party that has an online feature or an online infrastructure that actually works and it actually feels good to pull a trigger and move around the environments and stuff? Yes, that's what this game is. This game is so well. First of all, it's like one of the biggest Nintendo games over in Japan. It's like that's where they do all their international competitions and stuff at. And a lot of people are really, really, really talking about this game in slow mo. I'm trying to tell you, if you're gonna go ahead and break the law on your whatever your Steam Deck, you should do it with Splatoon and try it out. It's actually really good slow mo.
Now you're telling me to pirate games.
Well, because I know you're not going to buy it, so I want them to get some type of love, and you can start. Because listen, because if slow mo starts talking about games like Splatoon, then you'll get other people that actually.
I'm probably not going to even be able to play that, considering it's an online game.
Well, it's an offline game. It has a really good offline. This is the first year where it has a complete single player. I mean, it's had it before, but this is like a fully functional single player on top of the multiplayer and stuff. But I think once you get a hold of the mechanics and stuff and start playing it, I think you're going to be actually pleasantly surprised how interested you might be in it. But, that's just food for thought, Slow-Mo. Splatoon 3 is legit. And there's a reason that it's pretty much sold out everywhere. And just in Japan alone, up until this date, it already sold 3.5 million copies. So
that sounds great.
Oh my God, you're terrible. Now, this is one I'm really Octopath Traveler 2. I did not expect this. This was probably the more
I was cool with
game.
this one.
Yeah, this was probably the more exciting game that when I saw it, I was like, yo, they're making a part 2. Makes sense because the first one was really good. So what did you beat the first one and stuff, didn't you, Slow-Mo?
No, I didn't. I did play it. I thought it was a bit. This might sound weird, unseasoned. Like it was a decent RPG, but it wasn't. I think it was partially I wasn't really in the mood for a long, drawn out RPG. At that time, and other part of it was I thought it had some elements that were kind of like missing. But yeah, I'm down for a part 2 though. I'll give a part 2 a shot. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad RPG or anything. I just really wasn't feeling it at that time. But I'll definitely play a part 2. And if I need to finish the first one, because it's like one of those kind of games where it's like it's a continuation of the story. And if you don't know the story because you didn't finish the first game, then you probably should go do that. Then I'll do that. That's not a problem at this point. But yeah. I was pleasantly surprised to see that one.
Yeah, I was. When I saw it, I was like, yo, this is cool. Shout out to Cat Daddy. He says, I'll take your word because I'm never touching it.
Right, facts. Exactly. Yeah, take your word for it. Yeah, I'm good.
Aradim says, so Forte, are you implying that a company can make a really great first party FPS game without depending on COD? Hey, listen, there's a lot of stuff that was going around over the course of the last 14 days that kind of make no sense. But, yeah, definitely. Nintendo is one of those companies that proved that if you have a working model on something that people want, you can excel in it. And it probably took 3 games for them to get there with Splatoon, but I think they finally hit the mark with it. Shout out to True Serum. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, the other things that so where's it at? I had the list. Yeah, then they went into this whole farm thing, which I was like, there were some really good farming games that they shown, but it's just, I was
Come on,
like,
stop it.
what?
Faith Farm.
Yeah, fake farm.
Faith Farm. Like, no. I'm sorry. Get the freak out of here, man.
Yeah, fake farm.
But it was a decent direct.
It
But like
was.
all the farming games, like
It
there
was
was the
like 3 of them in a
funniest.
row.
It was the funniest like joke someone made. And shout out to this person. I can't remember who that name was, but they made if Kratos had a game on the Switch and was showing it at the Nintendo Direct, what would it look like? And it started out like the way Sony would typically market a God of War game, and then it turned into Kratos farming. It was so funny, yo. It was I was dying. It was so funny because you see Kratos like haggling with Tom Nook
Yep.
and making crops and everything, and it was hilarious. It was good. It was really good. But that would make a ton of sense that they would take Nintendo would rather take like one of their like a mascot, an icon on their platform, and then have them doing the most mundane, stupid crap that like you don't want to do in your own real life, but but apparently you'll do it in a video game, which is cooking, farming, cutting grass or whatever.
Cutting
Just come
grass.
on.
Shout out to Arada part of the 10% DPS podcast membership tier for 4 months. Really appreciate you, bro. Always appreciate the love and support to anybody that supports in that manner. Then they had the Final Fantasy theatric, the musical versions of Final Fantasy, which I think it actually would probably be because the last one I think they did was on 3DS and it was cool, but the speakers on the 3DS aren't the greatest. And then you had to play everything with the stylus. So I think the Switch version, and am I interested? Not as much, but I do think people that game did sell pretty well. But I do think it's going to do a lot better on a Switch due to the fact that the Switch got better speakers and it's touchscreen, and you don't have to use a stylus in order to interact with it. So I'm really looking forward to see what implementations they do on that. Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope, we are getting it finally got a release date.
That's another one that I will play.
Yep.
I will play that.
Did you?
The first one was good.
Yeah,
I beat the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was the first game I ever played on the Switch when I got the Switch. Because I bought the Switch to play. Interesting enough, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 because it was exclusive to the Switch. Ended up not really enjoying it that much. It was a bit too outdated in combat and everything. But Fire Emblem Three Houses was a game that I played while I was waiting, and that's the game that I really kind of like. The reason why I stuck with the Switch as long as I did. But the first game I played was Mario Rabbids, and that one actually was surprisingly good. For different for Ubisoft. A Ubisoft studio to make, but that style of combat, interesting enough, it has the same kind of style of combat, strategy RPG that Fire Emblem has, but it's a bit more dynamic, and it really works for the rabbits and the Nintendo characters with Mario, Luigi, Princess, and the whole bunch. It really works. So I saw some of the gameplay they showed, and I liked the changes they made. They looked like natural kind of like improvements upon the gameplay, and not just trying to force a gimmick or anything like that. So it looks good. Like those are definitely 3 games that I'll be playing on my Nintendo Steam Deck.
Capono was like, that's 3 games he likes so far. Nintendo fan confirmed. Absolutely. That's where it is. Then we had Room Factory 3. I didn't too much care for Room Factory 5 when it came out, so I don't know if I want to go backwards and play those. Then they
said 5.
Yeah, Room Factory 5.
This is 3.
Yeah, I said they're doing 3. 5 released recently.
So what was this like a remake of 3 or
yes.
something? Oh, okay.
That's why I said. That's why I said I played 5 and didn't care for it, and I'm not going backwards to go back to 3. It's cool. A lot of people like it, but I don't know. It's just I'm more of the Octopath, Final Fantasy, Bravely Default type RPGs when it comes to that. If Root Factory kind of
Yeah.
falls in there, but it's just a little bit. I don't know. It's just something about it just never really kind of latched with me. Then they had the Nintendo online expansion games for the 64, which the one funny one, the one where you know you laughing at GoldenEye 007 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. It is also coming to a next gen console named Xbox Series
Part of
X.
it.
Part of it. Yes, part of it. Xbox Series S and X. But the one part that's not coming, it's the multiplayer because guess
Wait,
what?
wait. Let's be clear.
Okay, go clear.
The
Be clear.
Xbox version is getting the multiplayer, but local co-op. You know, the kind
Yeah.
of thing that 343 promised and said you're not
Promise.
getting no more.
Right.
That kind of co-op, couch co-op.
Couch
You
co-op.
know,
They
you're gonna have to get some cardboard and stick, tape it to your TV to kind of make sure that ain't nobody screen looking you. Like we used to do 20 years ago. Yeah, that kind of couch
so
co-op
so
in 2022.
in 2022. So
Like
how
I
do we
can't believe it.
how do we feel about this, Slow-Mo?
If I was Xbox, I'd be like, keep it. I don't
Right?
want it.
It's not even a remaster.
It's not. It's nothing. It's literally, I mean, come on, first of all, I can't wait for it to I don't know when it's coming out, but I can't wait for it to come out and for people to play it again and realize that what they really been kind of pining for and having all their hopes tied up in, it's just nostalgia, bro. Like this is a game whose controls were designed around one thumbstick.
It did
One
it, it
thumbstick.
did it well, but yeah, you're
It
right.
did it well for its time. But I mean, even Halo's classic controls for Halo Combat Evolved are ugh. Like I can't play the game on that. I have to use I think it's called Zoom and Shoot, which is the uh the control scheme for more modern, more modern gameplay in Master Chief Collection. I can't use the original Halo controls, and those controls were innovative compared to what GoldenEye's controls are. It's going to play poorly for a lot of people, and I would say in some ways it's just going to ruin your childhood and your experience. Just don't go back to it. I'm not going back to it. I'm not playing it. I'm not.
Oh
I'm
boy.
good. And then, uh, um, so yeah, the Switch is getting the online multiplayer version of it, where you'll get to go around and see why people hated Oddjob. Because there'll be a lot of people trying to pick Oddjob on you, and the Xbox players are just, I guess, be playing the campaign, which I barely remember whatsoever. All I played from, I beat the campaign. All I remember doing though is playing the multiplayer with friends in college. And yes, I'm that old. I played it in college. But that's all I really remember doing.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, that's probably all I remember too. I remember how great it was. I remember how fun it was. But I also remember that, like you said, it was built around one thumbstick and there's really no remastering or even anything of note. I mean, even Nintendo's literally putting it in their N64 collection, meaning that it's an N64 game at heart still. So I think what year was that? 2015 or 16 that we got that GoldenEye game on Xbox One and PS4. I think that's the closest you're gonna get to GoldenEye.
There was a GoldenEye game
Yeah, it
on
was like 007. I believe it
on
was.
Xbox One.
Yeah, I think it was called GoldenEye. Wasn't it?
Are you sure?
I believe so. It was a game. It was a 007 game.
I know one came out on Nintendo's platform, but I didn't know.
I think it was. Let me
Whatever.
see. Yeah,
That's
whatever.
fine.
It might be whatever. Who cares? This
I
game.
remember IO Interactive is working on the 007 game as well. Now that I think about it. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's still in development or not. We haven't heard anything in a long time since they announced that. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Moving on from there, we have the moving on from there, various day life. Who cares?
Yep,
Fuck the
Nuke's good.
Rio. Who cares? IB. Who cares? Mario Strikers Battle League free update, which should have been in the game already. The stuff that they've been neglecting for a while. Altair Rizia 3. Did you play any of those?
I have the first one on Steam.
I always meant
I
to ask
don't.
how they are because I never played any of them.
I, you know why people buy this game, man.
I know why they buy it. I was saying
It
why
ain't
they
got nothing to do with it being an RPG or anything. This
no.
game, it's just because it's a bunch of fan service, man. It's a character with a lot of assets, so to
Yep.
speak.
Yep.
And the developers know what people are there for. They literally like half the time the character is talking and the camera isn't even on their face.
it's
It's
fun.
just
It's
it's not
fun.
even.
Do they put a little bounce in those regions too sometimes when they're
Oh,
talking?
yeah, there's a lot of bounce. There's a lot of bounce going on. I don't even think I've done a battle because I've normally just turned it off before I've even got like I've attempted to play it twice and I only last maybe about 10 minutes in. Just because it's just like
What am I
the,
doing?
the, the dialogue is so dumb. And I just I was like, what am I doing? I could be playing like X game right now instead of like watching these people have a conversation where I don't even know what people's face look like because it's just everything is at like chest level. Every
Right.
camera angle is at chest level or butt cheek level. So yeah,
All right.
you
So
know why. You know why people.
I know why.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Mario Kart 8. I can't get more. I can't get enough Mario Kart 8 stuff. They're just going to milk that franchise until all the tracks are available in Mario Kart 8 at some point. Switch Sports. This is a reason I haven't picked it up yet because golf isn't in there. Like, how are you going to have have a Switch Sports game, and the most important game outside of bowling isn't there, which was golf, and they're finally bringing that this October. And then actually Pikmin 4, I was not I knew they were working on one. I just wasn't expecting expecting an announcement this soon. Um but the one thing that they did announce, slow-mo, and we got a topic about it at the very end about
Just
gaming.
Dance.
Yeah, well, Just Dance was announced too, but who really cares? We all know Just Dance is one of those
My kids
games that
love Just
we
Dance.
all know that Just Dance is one of those games that literally Ubisoft just puts out and says we're just going to make money off this.
Pretty much, my
That's
kids love Just
yeah,
Dance. Yep.
mine's does too. So it's like they buy it every year. Um, the new Zelda game. What was it called? Tears of
You skipped over Bayonetta
Who
3.
cares about Bayonetta 3?
Yeah, exactly. Who
Who
cares?
cares? Bayonetta 3 is going to be awesome, but you know,
Is it?
well, did you like 2? 2 was actually pretty good.
Platinum Games
Okay, but
is,
Platinum
is, uh,
actually
is hit or miss as
they
it
actually
gets.
know how to
So,
make a Bayonetta game though.
all right, we'll see.
So I mean, it's yeah, you
They're
might be.
also they're also getting Crisis Core,
Yeah, they are
um,
getting Crisis Car.
which is interesting. I wonder how that's going to run on the Switch, which is probably poorly. Is the answer that you're looking for. But yeah, I mean, out of that, like everything else was just very much
What
Tales of Symphonia remastered, Life is Strange, Arcadia Bay Collection, which is I think is a remaster of the first game in the prequel. That should run well on the Switch. Honestly, it's very
what
low
about
impact on hardware kind of game.
the Master Detective Archive games?
I'm good.
You're good
I'm
on
good.
that.
I'm
What
good. I'm good on everything. Everything else is a thanks, but no thanks.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Tales of Symphonia?
I'm good. I'm not coming back to that, man.
Tales of Symphonia was actually one of the better Tales games.
At this point, after playing Arise, it needs to just be at Arise level or better when it comes to Tales. So yeah, I'm
Okay,
good.
what about the Resident Evil Cloud? The Cloud. They actually announced that the games are coming to their cloud service.
Yeah, also good because I own every Resident Evil game there is. On well, not all, most of them, the older ones on my Xbox. I still haven't played them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and then finally, and seafood is coming over, which is funny because I like the meme of somebody putting out on Twitter where it was a meme of seafood stepping over Xbox to go to Switch. It's like
that is funny.
that was
Yeah.
fun. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna walk over Xbox's grave and just go to the Switch and see what
I
happened.
that kind of like I know a lot of people would say like, oh, are these developers just completely skipping over Xbox intentionally, or is it like are they being paid by Sony to not go to Xbox? This is the kind of the one where you really do need to say, all right, so
What's going on here?
what's in your contract, bro? What's going on? What's going on, sir? Look. Uh, uh, on the financial level, it makes sense that you may want to skip Xbox. If your Slow Clap isn't a big studio, so like if they can only do one platform at a time. And you're like, we can make a Switch game or we can make an Xbox game. It's probably going to sell more on the Switch, considering the Switch has over 100,000.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, 100 million.
it's gonna run at 22 frames per second though.
Do you care? If you're Slow Clap, do you? I mean, you ain't make the hardware. You
That's
just trying your
true.
best, man.
That's true. That's true.
So makes us make this money, bro.
That's
Like
true.
20 frames per second. If they want to buy it, then we'll give it to them. Enjoy your slideshow. But it'll probably eventually make its way to Xbox. But is there some kind of mandate there where it was like, yo,
Yeah.
you're not going to Xbox, until Sifu came out
Earlier this year,
February,
February. Yeah.
March. So like it's not even a year. So it could be it's a year exclusivity deal.
Whereas
It could be like Deathloop, which is actually
coming out
created by an Xbox first party studio that has got like a very unceremonious announcement of it releasing in another 5 days
yeah, it's coming to Game
on
Pass on the
Xbox.
20th. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like
Probably won't
yeah,
even
it could
play
be
it then.
people could just show up like February 2023, like, hey, what's up? We're on Xbox,
Right.
like for the very few people who still haven't played it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. I mean, I own it on PlayStation and I still didn't play it.
That's a good game. I played it on PC. It's a really
Nice.
good game. I enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
the heavy hitter, Tears of the Kingdom, slow mo. They have finally announced what the next Zelda game is going to be. What are
I'm
your
gonna keep it a buck.
thoughts?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with
Keep
you.
it a buck, bro. Let's go.
It looked good.
I know it did.
It looked really good.
It looked really
I
good.
and this is from a very much a Zelda hater. It looked very good. I think if you're a Zelda fan, you should be super super excited for that.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
He said, I'm just gonna give you that little olive branch, and we're gonna walk away from this, leave it on the street, never to be talked about again. No, dude. Yeah,
I
well,
also do not think that was running on a Nintendo Switch.
what was it playing on the Steam Deck?
I think it was playing on like a Switch Pro or something. I don't know, man.
I always said that when they showed off and announced this game, or when they get close to it, it was gonna be tied to new hardware. So maybe that's still in the play. Who knows? They didn't announce anything today, or yesterday, or a couple days ago, or yesterday.
Yeah.
So they didn't announce anything there. But yeah, I am definitely looking forward to what this game is going to be, and I can just see how it's going to take over a lot of people's lives. And next year is going to be very, very interesting when it comes to our final topic. So. But outside of that, Slomo, what did you think of the show in general? What did you give it? What kind of score? How many slaps out of 10 would you give it?
7.
7.
Yeah,
That's
because there was
actually
a few games in there that I'm genuinely interested in playing. And even the stuff that I don't really particularly care for, they had quality there, and they showed their biggest IP of this current generation of Nintendo hardware, which is Breath of the Wild. They showed the sequel to that, so
Yeah.
yeah, you can't fault them for showing more of a game that everyone is looking forward to. So
Right.
almost
Exactly.
everyone. Yeah.
Almost everybody, right? So, with that being said, I give it about the same thing, a 7.5 out of 10. I think they have some really really good things to show. It's a very contrasting difference between what people were talking about earlier this year, where it's like, man, Nintendo ain't got nothing coming outside of Pokemon games. And I think it does them very well because they have like this two-prong attack where they come from saying, this is what you're going to be playing this year on the Switch, but even after you get your Switch for the holidays, say you're getting one for Christmas, this is what you can see and play within the next 6 months after getting your system. It seems like they always front load the beginning of that year really, really heavily. And I think that's always done well by them. And I think it's going to do well by them again. So 7.5 out of 10. Only things missing is new Metroid games that I'm definitely looking forward to see when that's finally going to happen. But Breath of the Wild, Jesus Christ, I mean not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and plus I love the name of the game because I didn't really want them to call it Breath of the Wild 2. Um, I think what they kind of made it feel like a new game instead of a sequel to a game. I like when companies do that where they don't feel like they have to live off the name because let's be for real, if they would have put Breath of the Wild 2 on the pack, people would have bought it just due to the fact that, oh, I really like the first Breath of the Wild. So this is Breath of the Wild 2, which is more of that. So now they kind of put themselves in a situation where people are going to be buying this game. Well, some people won't even know that this is a sequel to Breath of the Wild 2 because it doesn't explicitly say it. And it's going to sell off the merits of how good this game by itself is. So they're taking a really good chance at that. But I'm actually pretty pleased that they did that because I like the name of the game and it really speaks to it being something new. And it also speaks to the confidence that they have in the platform when it comes to Zelda that people are gonna like no matter what the name is they're gonna pick this game up and Zelda has hit another level. But moving on from that, Slomo, let's talk about PlayStation. Let's talk about the state of play. And first of all, tell me what you were excited for, what you saw there.
Oh boy, State of Play looked actually really really good. One Project Eve, which name has changed to Stellar Blade, is looking really really good. Ragnarok looked great as we knew it would. That trailer was fire. I know some people kind of complained about, man, they thought the trailer was a little bit too much spoilers, but I always when it gets this close to a game, I'm always like every time they show a game when it's this close to launch, it's just too many spoilers out there. It's too much to show. So but I mean I didn't really mind because I thought it really got me excited, even more excited to play the game. Stellar Blade looks great. I did not realize that apparently that Shift Up, the Korean developer that was working on it, has been developing it. I made a video on it almost a year ago when it was first shown, and I didn't realize that they were financially, uh, not going to be able to finish the game. But apparently, Sony stepped in and made sure that the game got completed. Now, in doing so, some things have changed when it comes to it went from being a multiplat that had Sony marketing, PlayStation marketing, to a console exclusive, which means that if it's still going to Xbox, we won't know until years upon years from now. And but still going to PC though, so which is all I care about.
Right.
So as long as because that's what console exclusive means. Apparently, there's some people on Twitter who don't know what console exclusive means. It's pretty terrible ponies out here that
Oh
can't admit
man.
facts. But no, I'm looking forward to that one. Looking forward to to, like I said, God of War Ragnarok. There was what else was there?
So there was,
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin.
yeah, that
Um,
looked really cool.
yeah, that looked cool. I didn't really care for the one that's like made by the Yakuza devs. I don't really care for that gameplay.
About
So
Ishin.
yeah, I've never really cared too much for their style of gameplay. So I mean, I saw it, and I'm pretty sure if I was big on Yakuza games, I'd be super excited, but I'm not. But and I know there are a lot of people excited for the Tekken 8, which looked. I
Man,
mean,
that
that
looked
looked
phenomenal, bro.
that yo. I mean, I'm not even into fighting games. I'm like, yeah, see, this is what you want. This is why you don't do cross gen. This is why you don't, you know, you don't hinder the experience of the game in order to make sure that it's still playable on old, outdated hardware. Because the way that looked it just looked great. So yeah. What
Mm.
about you, man?
No, man. I'm a huge Tekken fan. Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag were one of my favorites. And when I saw Tekken 8 start out, and I was like, when they showed that side view of the gameplay angle, I was like, yo, this looks fine. I was like, yo, this because it's like racing games and fighting games are the best way to show off the fidelity and graphical settings of your system because they're not super over demanding, but you can make them all look really, really good. You can put like a lot of coat of paint on it and make that thing look like amazing. So
Mm,
I was really, really excited for that. Um, also was excited for well, you already know God of War, of course. And looking at that stuff like that. Rise of the Ronin actually did get me really. I'm a huge Team Ninja fan. I really, really love
yeah.
Ninja Gate and everything, and I really love that they're doing an action RPG. And they're really diving more into the feudal Japan setting, because we really got a really good deep dive in that when it came to Ghost of Tsushima. And I think this is just going to take it even. I think this is going to probably take it even more deeper when it comes to just the settings, because that's the one thing that Team Ninja does. They don't just really do just the fighting systems and stuff. They really do dive into the environments, the settings and stuff. And not saying that Sucker Punch didn't do that, because they absolutely did with that game. I'm just thinking that this is going to probably be a even more step up from that, just due to the development that they had in the previous games that they had before. But I'm really looking forward to see what they do when it comes to this. I think this is like their very first action RPG that they've ever made. So this is something different for them. So I'm really looking forward to see what they actually do with that. We got to see more of the Hogwarts Legacy, which sucks is because we get to see DLC that we will not see for an entire year, slow mo. And this comes off the heels of everything that Jim Ryan been crying about, saying that you're taking stuff away from we're not, you're not valuing the PlayStation gamer. We want them to have the best experience when it comes to these games and stuff. But you don't feel the same way about Xbox, because you're taking away content that is being paid for at the same amount, $70 on both platforms, but I'm gonna get a lesser experience for the first entire year. I mean, this isn't to be a rant about with Jim Ryan, because I understand the whole thought process on, you pay for something, you get exclusive rights to it and everything. It's just real interesting when you finally hear stuff like this, that this is just is like they only really argue the points that they feel like that make them look good, but then they forget about the things that come back around. It's like, okay, well, what about this? You said this, but you're doing the same thing that you say you hate that people are doing to you. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess,
it's very hypocritical
yeah,
if you really break it down and don't try to say, oh, well, because one is owning a company and another one is you don't own the company, is different. That's not different. The end result is still the same.
still the
Doesn't
same.
matter the means of how you got there. So like miss me with all of the fake the fake details that people try to come up with to try to act like it's any different. It's the same. So, and which I don't complain about Sony doing it because it's like this is what competition is. You do things like that to make your platform more attractive than the other platform. But that said, you open yourself up to when you start coming into with regulators and complaining about things that you yourself do. Yeah, that's going to come back and eventually bite you on the butt, which I think it probably will when it's all said and done with this entire process with the Activision Blizzard King acquisitions, and all these commissions from these different markets and everything. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, but look, I mean, back to State of Play. State of Play, I thought was really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was. I thought for the short period of time they had like 20 minutes, maybe a little bit less than 20 minutes. It was really good, and they showed just as many games or more that I was interested in playing in their State of Play in 20 minutes than Nintendo showed in like 90. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Nintendo probably they showed a lot of games, a lot of games. So, what did you think about the God of War announcement? First of all, what did you think about them showing the controller first, and what was your first thought process when you saw a controller on the screen?
I for I never thought for a moment that that's all they were going to show.
Good for you.
Yeah, because like I know there's some people that thought like that was it. They were just going to show a controller, which
I was one of
that,
them.
really.
Oh yeah, I was. Well, well, I didn't. No, yeah, I can't lie. I was one of them. I was sitting there like because it was more for me. It was more of an emotional thing because I love like I bought a PlayStation for God of War, and the first time you show it to me at the very end of this show, when there's only 3 minutes left or 2 minutes left in the show, and you show me the controller, I'm like, they better not end this show with this controller. Even knowing in my mind, I'm thinking like they're not gonna do this. Who are they? Xbox? Xbox does stuff like that. They're not gonna do that to us. And thank God they didn't. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Being a fan, I was like, yo, they better not end this with this freaking controller. And they didn't. But all right, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, like I said, I knew they were going to show, an actual substantial trailer of the game. I think they probably should have waited to show the controller after
Facts.
the actual trailer, but maybe they wanted that trailer to end on it being the last thing you see of the show. Which I mean, I guess that's a thing you could do as well. It doesn't really matter, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, but. Um, God of War Ragnarok looked great.
Oh my
I can't wait
God.
to play that. I'm even more hyped now to play than I was before.
Oh
So
man,
yeah.
it looks so good. I could do without some of the story elements that they shown in it because I was like, but then what do you really want? You want them to like kind of dive in and really get you invested, or do you want them to play it safe and just show you stuff that you already seen before? So I'm kind of in the middle, but it's like if what they showed, I was like, yo, there is so many things you can glean from that trailer. And I was like, the funny thing is the game is literally less than what, 2 months away?
hmm
2 months away.
I will be going back through the first one on PC.
I'm
I
actually in the
beat it
process
on
of doing that now.
PlayStation when back in 2018 when it first came out, but on PC I haven't beat it on PC yet. So this will be my refresher for the game by playing it beating it on PC again. So I'll do that in October before the game comes out, just so that like it's still super fresh in my mind when the new one comes. And
Right. So
yeah,
with that being said, you said you gave it a 8 out of 10.
yeah,
Not a bad score. Lomo, you giving really good scores today. I don't know what to say about that.
I'm a generous person,
You're a
man.
generous person. All right,
Yeah.
let's see how generous you are to our next topic. Call of Duty. The Call of Duty multiplayer reveal for Modern Warfare 2 was shown today. And I have to say, bro, I've been away from Call of Duty for a while. This is the one I knew I was coming back for because Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite Call of Duty of all of them. mostly for the campaign. I remember the AC-130 and everything in the air in the second one. That was really really cool. But seeing just how the fidelity and the spectacle that they put into Call of Duty, just think about that. When you looked at that trailer, or not even the trailer, like when you just looked at the event itself, the presentation of that event, you know that was put on by a company that knows that Call of Duty is literally number one, number two, number three, number four, and five is the only thing they really truly care about, especially when it comes to the Activision side of ABK. What did you think of the gameplay trailer that they shown off, and are you going to be jumping into Modern Warfare this year?
No,
Oh my god!
I'm not. Look, I'm not a COD guy, so I just don't really care for Call of Duty like that. Although, I did see some glimpses of gunplay, and the gunplay looks solid. It looks faster than Vanguard looked. Like I've seen some people play Vanguard, some people in the community that be cool with, and this looks faster than that from what I saw. But I wasn't watching though. Like, how long was that stream today?
Oh,
I
it
was,
was a long stream. I didn't watch the whole stream. I just watched this portion.
yeah, I didn't care for all that. Someone in on Twitter asked me what I think about the third person perspective. So
Yes.
I didn't even see that they were doing that.
Yep, they are. Whole thing is
So
third person.
the whole game,
No, just that they have that that perspective where you can play. I don't know if it's the whole
is it
game.
the campaign?
It's the
Is it
campaign. Yeah,
okay? It's not the multiplayer.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, look, if you could play the campaign, and yeah, that's cool. As long as it plays well, it doesn't look weird. Because a lot of like a lot of people sometimes go like, man, I want the choice of third person to first person perspective without understanding that games that are generally just first person perspective, it's difficult to go to third person instead of vice versa, because typically when they just planned on doing first person perspective, like those character models don't have all of the animation and the motion matching and all the stuff that's done to make third person perspective gameplay look natural and solid isn't there. So when they don't develop the game for third person perspective, and then they add it, it just looks weird and janky sometimes. So
Okay, here's the thing. It says anything that is not labeled third person in the title or description in a first person is first person only playlist. Expect there to be more ways to play in third person within the full multi Modern Warfare 2 experience, including public matchmaking playlist, private matchmaking lobbies, and co-op, as well as Call of Duty Warzone when 2.0 releases later this year.
okay.
So it looks like co-op you could do it. Probably not the main campaign, but co-op you can.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it's implemented. I appreciate their effort in trying. I imagine it's probably going to be not the best experience in third person, and first person will be much better for COD fans. But if they continue on with it, then it may be something that will get better over time. Regardless, it's I mean, I'm not really caring too much about it. Like, I know there are people that are excited for it to jump into the open beta tomorrow on PlayStation, since it's exclusive to PlayStation.
Yep, exclusive to PlayStation.
Just, say that so that people understand why I'm saying that.
Yeah, Jim Ryan out here still taking stuff away from people.
I mean, but look, that all that stuff was
It was
agreed upon years ago.
years
But
ago.
like, this is the kind of things that PlayStation gamers enjoy, and what Jim Ryan wants to continue. If you look at his comments that we spoke about last week, and that's I made sure to put that in the clip, the DPS Reloaded clip that's on the DPS channel, like in detail of what he's really talking about. He's talking about the same exact experience that they currently have right now, which is more, which is them, yeah, more than what you get on Xbox,
Right.
which is like asinine to expect Microsoft to continue to do that while they now own it and they're giving you more and better benefits. They're giving their own platform. That's crazy. Now, again, that's also negotiations too. So you ask for things you don't really want. So then in the midst of negotiating, you take it off the table. Like, all right, well, look, we don't have to have the beta first.
True.
We don't have to have maps first. We don't have to have first dibs on everything. But you gotta give us 2 more extra years out of 3 years you gave us. Like that's how negotiations work. Will it work? Don't know. But that's how that typically, works. So that's why he's saying things like that, because there's just no way you're getting, like, if anything, what you probably gonna want to do is negotiate for it to be parity across the board. No actual extra benefits in game for Xbox players over PlayStation players, and that's what you're kind of like really hoping for. But you start out with, you want to keep those benefits that you get on your platform, just because it's a negotiation point that doesn't end with you giving up things that like and make the experience worse for your PlayStation players at the time being that you do have the game. So
Nope, I agree 100%. I just think that in general, um, I said this on Brap yesterday, until somebody's name is at the top of the ledger, either Microsoft's name or nobody's name other than Activision, this is going to always be a conversation. And Jim Ryan is going to say what he needs to say because he understands the power that Call of Duty has, and he understands that the sway that title could have when it comes to purchasing power for people. And he's not just looking at the PS5 generation, he's looking forward at the PS6 or whatever the next generation system, which is probably going to be PlayStation 6 because they kept the naming convention. But he's looking at what forward going to look for like them too. But that doesn't mean they're going to stand still. But I definitely agree with that. So slow mo, no Call of Duty this year. Not even
Nope.
not even the single player. The man plays every first person shooter, but they ain't gonna play one of the most popular ones out there.
it's okay. Look, yeah, I just never really cared for COD like that. Like, I've been more of a Halo guy, which is a very, like, still a first person shooter, but a very different feel. The first person shooting time to kills is longer, which where people tend to COD players tend to like shorter time to kills, which is whatever, it's fine. Um, and when I have played COD, it's been either the game has been gifted to me or I got it for free with something I bought, like a GPU. So then, sure, yeah, all right. I mean, I got it here. I might as well play through the campaign then, and that's what when I play through the campaigns. But otherwise, I just don't really care. But I'm glad that a lot of people are happy with what they're seeing. It's a very like sharp difference compared to how people felt about Vanguard when Vanguard was first shown. Like that
Right.
was I saw a lot of people angry about going back to World War II again, and just a lot of issues with Vanguard. But the reception from people that I know who are massive card players seems to be very, very much in the positive on this one. So glad to see that.
Absolutely. All right. So moving
So
on.
you're gonna play it though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm there.
Okay. Cool,
October
cool, cool.
28th. I'll probably be there this weekend, by the way. Who knows? I might be there this weekend because I do got my beta code. But moving on to our second to final topic, something that a lot of people saw coming, probably in some people's eyes didn't happen soon enough.
I saw this coming 2 years ago, by the
Yeah, oh
way.
yeah,
Just
I saw this coming a long, long time ago. Bonnie Ross officially leaves 343 as the head of the studio. She's no longer now. We don't know if she's like no longer with Microsoft. What we mostly
oh,
think is she
she's
probably
gone.
she's gone from Microsoft in general now.
I think she's gone.
She's
I think
gone.
this
Okay.
is she's not being put into like a different role or something.
Right.
Maybe she might come back later on and she might take on a different role within the company, but as of now she's
Yeah, I know
gone. And
she
her
had.
statement basically says that she's leaving 343 to deal with a family emergency, which I so
Oh, go ahead. Tell the truth, Shane the devil.
I think it's partially true and partially not the actual reason that you're leaving. I think if everything was great with 343 and Halo Infinite right now, we wouldn't even heard that she's taking a leave of absence. She would just take a leave of absence internally. It would be known. Someone else would be in charge, and she would just handle whatever family business that she got to handle.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
the fact that they had people in line to split all of her duties from 3 different ways immediately. The fact that like
This is
all this was planned, and then if you look at her actual statement, she said I planned on staying on to get through the winter update, which would be in November.
in November. Yeah.
So she pretty much admitted
That she was
leaving.
She was already on her way out. Yeah.
She was already on her way out, which is something that needed to happen because there's this thing called accountability. And when you don't get results and you disappoint everyone, and the game is at a state where they hope they never would be, which is having being out of the top 10, shoot, out of top 5, but definitely the fact that you're out of top 10 in most games played on Xbox, the fact that your numbers for concurrent players on Steam are rivaling indie shooters like Splitgate, other massive disappointments like Battlefield 2042, and it's just somebody has to take the fall for this, and that is something that like I'm not out here advocating for people to lose their jobs, but like there's certain level of accountability that had not been occurring at 343 for people in upper leadership levels, and I still kind of feel like still isn't really happening because it's not all on her. And based upon some things that I've heard, like upper management needs to take a long look in the mirror too,
Absolutely.
because of the mandates they put on the studio to have certain things done, that the fact that like what really needed to happen, like a delay even further from where it was delayed, wasn't possible. The fact that they really shouldn't have just decided to kind of like make the game under the time constraints they made it while developing a new engine. A lot of that stuff is just like, I mean, I'm not even a game developer. I just know like you don't have enough time to do that in like 2 or 3 years. So why are you like people in leadership forcing that upon a studio that does not even have the same that has more restrictions on staff than the other studios in the company? That doesn't make any sense. So other studios don't have restrictions on contractors. Other studios don't have restrictions on who they can make full-time employees. But they're also not making game engine. They're their own game engine for their game. But 343 is. And they also aren't being told you need to have this game ready by the launch of the console. But 343 is. Oh, now it's got to be ready by the launch of the anniversary. Like, at any point, did leadership tend to think about, is the game good? Is the game ready? Does the game have content? Because let's forget the fact that this game's supposed to be a live service game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have enough content for a typical Halo game. Halo Guardians had more content than this game did post-launch. So you didn't even live up to the standard of what a typical Halo game should have when it comes to post-launch content. But you decided to have a live service game, which was supposed to have even more content than regular games. That's just like, whose ideas were these? So yeah, upper management beyond Bonnie Ross needs to take a L too. Not necessarily they need to be fired because they have far more responsibilities, just 343. But Bonnie not protecting her staff and not like dealing with the internal strife issues with like the pulling the back and forth with internal developers, with like some of them wanting to be anti-Bungie and then others wanting it to be old school Halo. Like, she should have nipped that in the bud years ago.
Right.
It should have been like, all right, this is the way we're going, and if you're not on board with it, you can get out. Like at some point, the leader of the studio has to take care of things like that. The lies. I'm not gonna get into the lies all over again, but the lies. Like some of those that she told. Local co-op, but will never not be a thing for Halo ever again. Very next game, local co-op is gone. Like it's just it had to be done. And so again, I wish her the best for her family, and that whatever issues that are going on there. I think what it really came down to is that an issue did arise with her family, and instead of waiting till winter, she decided to get up out of there immediately. She was just like, I'm not really doing anything at this point, because like she got the Chris Lee, who was the previous team lead creative director on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Before Joseph Staten. Chris Lee got demoted and was sitting around his office just doing nothing, twiddling his thumbs and probably playing on the internet before he finally found himself another job and got up out of there. That's what they usually do. They demote people instead of just straight up firing them. So she was sacked, unofficially, and sacked in that Microsoft way where they allow you to leave with your dignity. Essentially, but
which is a great. I said on Twitter, I was like, this is like the best company to work for, that will never fire you. They will just find a way for you to leave graciously under your own accord.
But they neuter you to the point where you're the damage that you did can no longer be done no more. Now, how long are you willing to take the hit to your ego while that happens until you find a new job? Which is, I mean, it's a lot of what's going on right now at 343. You're going to see it was like Ted Berger, who was the lead on the Slipspace engine, left this week too.
Yep.
So this is after Bonnie left on Friday. Was that Friday last week?
Yeah, Friday last week.
Now, Ted Berger leaves. Like, there's more. And he deserves to leave too, because frankly, the Slipspace engine is a hot mess. So it's a hot mess. So like, yeah, like everyone that, like, all the leadership's gone except for Frank O'Connor somehow.
I know he's still so.
How is this guy surviving? I have no freaking idea. Like, I don't even know. But the vast majority of the leadership is gone, which is something that I said I need to see before I decided to even give the Halo the shot of going back. So like, even if they turn the game around, if current leadership was in place with all the lies they told and the bullshit, I wasn't supposed to say that. Whatever, right? All the nonsense they told, right? I still was going to be like, I'm not playing the game. Because they don't respect me. I don't respect them. Period. But with the changes of leadership, I'm willing to come back once actual content is there to play. So,
yeah, that's where I'm at on it. I think part of me really thinks that, yeah, I do agree. I think she's been on the outs for a while. I mean, she still had her stature as like still, her position as studio lead, but I don't know what she actually did in that role after all this stuff kind of happened. But I also think she got to the point too where she probably was like, I don't need to deal with this no more. Kind of, it's like, if you sit there, you think about the things that has happened with Halo over the course of the last, 5 years, and and a lot of it have to do with stuff that she's implemented. I mean, it's also been rumored that Microsoft wasn't really that enthusiastic about another Halo game, and she was the one that brought them back to the table, and that's how they got Infinite off the ground. So with that I mean, she definitely did some things to keep Halo above ground, but I also think when I heard the news that they separated her position into 3 separate ones, she was doing too much. Like, she no, I when I mean like separate.
I wouldn't say she was doing too much. I think she was doing everything studio heads do.
Well, it just depends on what you. I mean, because
Everything that she's doing, what's the guy that runs Double Fine?
you talk about
Tim
Tim
Schafer.
Schafer, yeah.
He's doing the same thing.
No, yeah, but he's doing it
Brian
on a.
Fargo,
But
Brian
but
Fargo,
they're,
studio head of In Exile, is doing the same thing.
they're doing it. But this is the thing, though.
Better.
No, you're right.
Doing it better than
No,
her.
but what I mean, she's doing too much. All studio heads ain't equal, especially when you're talking about, a $1 billion franchise like Halo. Like, I don't like a normal like Tim Schafer with the size of his studio, Brian Fargo with the size of his studio, the things that they can do. They can still manage a lot of the different things because they're not managing expectations of something this big. Whereas I'm looking at Bonnie Ross, I'm like, there's no way that you should be doing all of these different things. Like you're heading development on the TV show, you're heading development of the studio when it comes to the actual production of this game and everything. You're on the merch side, you're on this side, you're being pulled. And I understand that you are the studio head of it, but you have people underneath you. And maybe that was the biggest fault for Bonnie Ross, where she felt like she had to do it all herself.
She didn't delegate. Well,
She
she didn't do it all. She wasn't running the game.
Yeah, she didn't delegate any of this stuff in a convenient and concisive way.
And the stuff she did delegate was the people that
it shouldn't have been delegated.
Yeah, that didn't deliver.
Right.
And then when she replaced those people, she replaced them with other people who didn't deliver.
So that's why I say I still ultimately blame her, but it just remind me that it was more of a decision-making process from the top, because I don't think Bonnie Ross went out with the intention of saying that I just don't want Halo to be great. I just think she was way over her head. And this also goes back to that conversation I had a while ago when it was about 343 and their inheritance of the Halo IP. They didn't earn anything. This was given to them. Now, they did get a lot of ex-Bungie developers, but this is also the company that didn't want anything from Bungie incorporated inside of their game. So there was already a lot of backfighting and bickering around that subject too. So it was as I
said earlier, that's another thing I think that she has to own. That she didn't resolve those conflicts.
She never did. Yeah. And I think that's where ultimately this whole thing just falls for me. It's just like 343 has always been over their head when it came to Halo. Now, does this mean that everything's going to be great and Halo's going to, magically make a triumphant comeback in 2-3 years? No. It just means that this is the beginning. They're starting over.
I'm gonna repeat this again for people who still tend to doubt my Nostradamus abilities, Slomodamus over here. Okay, we're going to get a Halo 7. You're not getting any more like massive. The thought that you're getting a massive expansion campaign for Halo Infinite is not happening. You're getting Halo 7. They're going to use the foundation of gunplay that they've created with Halo Infinite, and they're going to make a Halo 7 that is actually going to be a unified, everybody on the same page, 343 making the game, and will likely be the kind of Halo that people have been waiting for from 343 ever since it was created.
Yep, I agree.
But it's not coming for Halo Infinite. They're gonna let Halo Infinite die because it's bad news. It's a bad name. Its reputation is shot, and there are people who disagree with that, and these are some of the same people who told me I was crazy for wanting the game to be delayed. So you understand how those people think.
See where we at now, and this game was supposed to release in 2020.
Right. Something that you were saying? Okay. So about where the game is going. So like Joseph Staten, and you look at his comments, and his comments speak as if his comments. See, it's like Rodimus, you're crazy. Rodimus is one of the people that was like, "Don't delay the game." So, like I said, See what I mean?
He
uh,
said, "Clip that."
yeah, clip it. Please clip it, because 2 years from now, when Halo 7 is being announced, I want you guys, I want you to bring the clip back up, but y'all won't. Anyway, um, prior to this game coming out, I was very much in the camp of Halo needs to evolve. If it really wants to capture the audience, uh, if you really want to capture the audience of the current gamer, the younger generations that are into battle royales like Apex Legends or games like Valorant or Fortnite, you need to evolve. Not necessarily not be Halo no more, but adopt some of those features, but make it unique to yourself so that you're different than them. I was still in that camp, but I recognize that there were people at 343 who were in that camp who also were battling within the studio with people who were no, keep Halo. Not necessarily don't have sprint in the game because that's just silly, but like Halo should play like a Halo game. A Halo campaign should be a Halo campaign. And you just can't have that kind of division. You can't be torn in different directions. Everyone has to be on the same page. So I'm fine with stating, basically shaping 343's development team
Yeah.
to be old school Halo, because at least we're getting we will get a quality experience of one of those kind of experiences, and not this wishy-washy, sitting on the fence, lukewarm. We're trying to be innovative, but not really, because we can't, because we are holding on to a lot of nostalgia, and there's like the Halo community isn't going to like us going too far in the direction that we want to go, so we're not really doing what we want to do. No, get rid of the people who want to do those things, because that's not what you're here for. If the leader of the studio, Joseph Staten, is not here to do those kind of things, that you add people who are here to help build his vision of what the next Halo game is going to be,
Right.
not anything else. And so the way they have operated before, it has to be dead in order, like the culture has to completely change. And it looks like that is, on a long-term basis, what is going to come to. Now, there are people who disagree with me and disagree how long it's going to take, and these people don't understand exactly how broken the game is internally. Like, they see the gunplay solid, but the problem is the game engine has so much debt involved in it. The tools are so old. They think so many things need to change and be updated. They're so behind on so many things, and they still have to deal with the fact that, like, they keep having to rotate contractors. They keep having to deal with the fact that even though they're a big studio, they don't have all of the resources and enough staff to get everything done. These things take time. And so this is why you're not going to see, really, like, if you think sometime in the next year, you're going to get a roadmap from Halo Infinite that's going to look any better than what they've shown us in the past year, you're out of your mind. It's not happening. Their next roadmaps will be just as inadequate as the last two are, because they can't do any more than what they're doing right now, unfortunately. But as they build a studio up, the studio back up, as people in leadership positions are leaving, and they replace those people who are going to be likely a lot of ex-Bungie people, like they've already been adding, but people who have the same vision for the game as Joseph Staten, they're going to be able to start to slowly get better at developing things. It's going to take time. And frankly, by the time that stuff gets ready, what's going to sound better to people who have completely written Halo Infinite off, or completely written Halo off? Hey, you going to play that Halo Infinite expansion? Or, hey, you going to play that Halo 7? I heard it's better than Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
It's a perception issue. and some of y'all can't see the forest for the trees, but it's fine because that's what I'm here for, to tell you when you're wrong, and then when I'm right, to remind you why I was right. So yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Slow, you spitting, you spitting. I do not disagree with you. I been saying for a while that they need to step away from Halo Infinite and stop talking about it. But they have they have an issue right now where people want to hear information and more updates on what's happening with the game. But when they do those updates, none of it's good. All of it is always talking about how far away plans are, things that they're adding, and things that they're delaying and stuff like that. And at a certain point, it's like, well, shoot, this game shouldn't have been here. This should be something that we're not even discussing because the game wasn't ready to launch. And at this point, I hate to say it, Halo Infinite is a corpse on the ground that you revived way too many times. And at this point, people don't care. Like, of course, there's some people, like, if you're a diehard Halo fan, you care, because I care. I still care. I will still play. Like, they were to release brand new DLC, especially after all this changes and stuff in the next year to 2 years. I'll still play it on Infinite, but how many people are like me? How many people are like Slow-Mo? Slow-Mo would go back and play it. I know he would. But the majority of people that buy these games, we talked about it on Brap yesterday. We talked about how Call of Duty counters the market, and they don't counter the market because they have diehard Call of Duty fans. They have the casual fan that loves the game, and they're willing to keep reinvesting in that game because they feel like what their experiences have at least been good to a point where they feel like they don't feel bad, coming back to the game every year. Halo has just been a consistent failure of giving you a reason to play the game on a consistent basis. So, and then you come out with and then right now everybody talks about the 10-year plan. There's no 10-year plan for this game. That went out the window a long time ago. That went out a long time ago, bro. Anybody that think that this game is going to be the same game that it is in 10 years, you smoking. This game won't even be relevant in 5. In 5 years, this game will just be another Halo game that might have a sandbox tied to it, may have Battle Royale tied into it. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn this into the live service version of Halo, and Halo 7 is literally the antithesis of what Halo actually always has been. Single player, multiplayer, but anything that they throw into a sandbox design where they want to have like feedback or they want to just try new things, that might be what Halo Infinite is. It actually kind of makes sense. Halo Infinite is where all of the new things that they want to try inside of Halo is where they do it at, but where they want to have this concise story missions, concise storytelling, and they want to have the traditional multiplayer. I think that's going to live in whatever the next Halo is, and I think we're going to get to that in the future. Shout out to Rob the Don 202 with the $2 super chat. Will they switch the game engine for the next game? No, I think they're heavily invested in Slipstream, Slip Space engine, and I think they're going to tailor, because the thing is, we don't know how good or bad, we just know how bad it is right now. We don't really know how good this engine really could be, and I don't think that they would just throw that away instantly.
I agree.
They're not gonna just throw. They put too much
There's
money
a sunk
into it.
cost that they've already like invested in Slipspace engine, and at this point, it's far less expensive for them to either. They could go the Unreal Engine 5 route and try to adapt, a modified version of Unreal Engine into what they need. But I mean, like a lot of the devs they get are already familiar with Unreal Engine as is, and they have to teach them how to use Slipspace. But it may be with the amount of effort and time and people they've paid over the years to work on Slipspace, like it's got problems, and it's going to take a while to fix those problems. But like just imagine how you have a proprietary engine that you can use going forward for all of Halo that is yours, and it works exactly for what you need it for, but you just need more time to get it fixed the right way. I think they're probably just fix fix the engine that they're currently on right now, and it will help allow them to use the same engine to go forward and go into the next Halo game without actually having it take as long as it took between Halo Guardians to Halo Infinite.
Right.
Because that was like 6 years. You don't want it to be another 6 years after a massive disappointment to go forward into another game like that. So like instead, use the same engine but make it better. Like I know I'll use because I always use examples from the Division. I'll use an example from the Division real quick. The Division One Snowdrop engine. Um, the Snowdrop engine had a massive engine problem where it was like it would allow people to glitch through walls, and then it also allowed people to glitch through incursions, and we kind of ruined a lot of stuff, right? That people were exploiting the game, getting to areas of the map they weren't supposed to get to, and then being able to beat bosses who couldn't fight back. In incursions that were supposed to take them an hour and a half to complete, they instead they completed it in 5 minutes, and that was issues that the first game had that the developer at the time, Massive Entertainment, had a really, really hard time fixing. Some of the other issues in the Dark Zone where like they had a problem in uh, hit detection and the engine keeping up with the inputs of like mouse and keyboard players, and where they were positioned and what and how they were positioned on the screen or whatever in regards to what the server was actually seeing was incorrect. People were exploiting it on purpose using a particular cadence of pressing their directional buttons, knowing that the engine couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
These were things that they could not fix in Division 1, but they fixed them in Division 2. They didn't throw the whole engine away and say, oh, well, the engine's absolute garbage, even though it had its benefits and it was good in a lot of different ways, especially with like weather effects, dynamic weather. The visuals were awesome, very like photorealistic, not photorealistic, but ultra realistic. And it had great benefits to it. It's like, well, why throw all that away? Because we got some really foundational problems with the engine. We gotta fix those problems. We can't do it in Division 1 because it's too much of the game that has to change in order for it to work here, but we can do it for our sequel. And so in Division 2, although it's got its other issues, which is mostly content related, Division 2 didn't have any of those problems on an engine perspective that they had. People weren't exploiting. You can't do exploits like that in Division 2 like you could in Division 1. And so it's far easier for them to just go ahead and just fix the engine that they currently have. And they could come out with a Halo 7 or another Halo that would be in another 3 years or so versus double that time to, build up upon a whole new engine or licensing out Unreal to get that done. So
Right.
you got some super chats here, man.
Yeah, shout out to Keith Thomas Jr. Shout out to that's my little brother actually. Shout out to my
Oh,
little
okay.
shout out to my little brother with the $50 with the purple super chat. They were trying to keep up with the trends of free to play models and adapting Halo to that instead of just making the best Halo game they could.
I agree. Absolutely, I
He's
agree.
absolutely. And listen, this is the person I grew up with, moving CRTVs from one room to another, running running Ethernet cables through closed chutes from the basement to the from the bedroom upstairs to the basement and the downstairs. Halo was just Halo back then. It was simplistic, it was amazing, and people loved it. And yes, Halo has to change in some regard, but I think they weren't ready to make the moves that Halo needed to make in order to, thrive in today's society because there's no content there. Like if you're dealing with a games of a service like something like Fortnite or something like PUBG or even Destiny to a lesser extent, they weren't ready to put out that much content. Like it's crazy to think that a studio with so many people that are involved in it can't put out content, but it actually makes sense when a good 60% of the labor force are contractors and they're not even there. They're not going to be there 6 months from now, a year from now to know what Tom, Dick, and Harry did, 6 months before them. They're going to be working on something completely new, and that's just the consistency is just all over the place when it comes to that. And I definitely agree with you, little bro. He wanted to join the show today, but you weren't feeling good. I didn't want to make us go extra long, but he definitely wants to talk with you probably in the next couple of weeks about that. The Nvidia launch with the 4000s because he's super into PCs.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that.
And he's got a Steam Deck. He got a Steam Deck and he loves it. Yeah, I was like, Slow-Mo loves his Steam Deck too. So if not next week or the week after, we'll get on because he definitely wants to talk about the new stuff when it comes to the PC stuff and get him on the show. And shout out to Gamey Addict with the $2 super chat. He said, "I'm inviting you both to the Addict show next week." So Slow-Mo, we gotta be ready for that invite that Addict gonna be sending us.
I already got the invite. I told him yes. He sent that super chat so that there's accountability for you.
Oh, for me.
Sir.
What day is this show on? Tuesday? Is it Tuesdays?
Oh, it was Wednesdays.
Is it Wednesday? Oh,
regardless, is that like there was a time that we were both invited to the Addict show,
right,
and only one of us showed up, and the other one did not show up, but didn't answer phone calls, text messages, nothing.
Right.
I wonder who that was. Who was that?
Stop it. All right. Erodimus says Halo can be the No Man's Sky or Anthem, but you're saying that they're going to abandon the game. I'm not saying they're going to abandon the game. I think Halo Infinite is going to be the test bed for everything Halo going forward. I think that's where all their live service stuff is going to live at.
It's not necessarily one. It's not a full on abandoning of the game, right? Because look, Master Chief Collection still got like they fixed Master Chief Collection, but they didn't abandon they came out with Halo Guardians while they were working on Master Chief Collection. So like there was multiple different teams that were working there, but the bulk of the studio was then working on Halo Guardians. So like you have to understand that like they're still gonna come out with content. They're not gonna be like do what 1047 Games did with Splitgate and say we're not developing no more seasons, no more anything for Splitgate, but we'll keep the servers on and we'll keep doing maintenance to make sure stuff works. But we're working on a new game. Like they came out and said that. I don't think we're gonna get a actual that amount of transparency from 343 on what they're going to do because the backlash is going to be severe.
Oh yeah, easily.
So like there's no backlash for 1047 Games because 1047 Games barely has a community as it is. And even then some people didn't like the fact that they were no longer doing new content for Splitgate. But that's always going to be the risk that you're going to take. And I think that, with how long it's going to take to get everything fixed and to be able to start delivering on content, that they're just going to think about, look, part of the reason why EA didn't go forward with Anthem next, which was their
attempt at No Man's Sky.
Yeah, their attempt at No Man's Sky to fix Anthem, which I was all in on. I was keeping up with. I was doing videos on it. I was looking at like everything that they Christian Daly, who was the creative director, like their 5th creative director at that time, he was doing all this work on it, and he was showing people through blogs what they were working on and what their ideas were. They were going to have everything that people wanted from a looter shooter in it. It was going to look amazing. It was going to be great. And Christian got to the point where it was like, I need a bigger team than this. I need at least 50 developers at BioWare to get this fixed. At least 50. And it's going to take us a year. And we might need to bring in a support studio. EA looked at the cost of everything, and thought about the fact that, we're going to be now sinking a ton of resources into this game. And we're probably not going to be able to monetize this. And think about where I'm going here. EA knew that they basically disappointed everybody that played Anthem. You're not going to get people who already spent a minimum $60 on a game that disappointed them to spend even more money on your attempt to fix it. Their response is, and justifiably so, it should have been like this at launch, and it should have. That's on you. So why am I paying more money? And people aren't, and so they know that they can't justify to their investors spending this much of an investment into a game that's broken that nobody plays to fix it, only knowing that some people are still going to do same thing the way they treat No Man's Sky, where they're just like, yeah, I tried it at launch, I don't care. State of Decay, tried it at launch, I don't care that they fixed it. Sea of Thieves, I tried that at launch, I don't care that it's finally got content now. It didn't have content when I gave it a shot, so I don't care. There are people who are like that. We see them all the time. We know them. And then there are people who actually would give it a shot, but they feel some kind of way about spending more money on a game that should have had that content there when they first played it. If you can't monetize it, you better be able to fix it with as minimal effort as possible. And if you can't do that, it's time to move on to a new game. That's just the way it works, because it's about what can you monetize? What can you actually get people to play? And yeah, they do have Game Pass, so that makes things a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But you still want people to actually play it, don't you? Because even in Game Pass, people ain't playing the game.
Yeah, that's the.
So what? Like, it's further proof that you can't keep. If people think something is a failure, that's a label on that particular game that's going to stay. It's going to stick, and it's not going to change because you came out with new content that people aren't engaging in. It doesn't change your reputation. We said this about like PS Now, and Sony finally got the hint. You can't make PS Now work. When you came out with PS Now, it was a trash streaming service for games, and it was terrible. And that's the reputation that it had forever. Overpriced, terrible streaming service. Even when it was no longer super overpriced, even though when they had a whole bunch of games, even when then like half the games were downloadable, people still called it the trash, overpriced streaming service. Even though it was no longer that, because when people move on and they forget about whatever service, game, IP, whatever that you are working on, they move on. They don't pay attention to the details. They don't pay attention that you change this, you change that. The blogs and stuff that only like 5,000 people are watching. The people who are still care about the game, the people they want to come back ain't watching none of that crap. They moved on. And so you can make all the changes you want. They're not coming back to your game, bro. So you got to come up with a new game. It is what it is. They have repackaged PS Now to PS Plus Extra and Premium, and people sub to it and don't even realize it's the same crap they had with PS Now. The way things work, man.
That is definitely how they work. The interesting thing is, I was looking at the Steam charts for Halo over the over the last 30 days. Average players 3,666. Peak over the last 30 days has been 7,941.
Wow.
Peak. As of right now,
7,000.
As of right now, 5,597 people have played in the last hour. It's literally at its 24-hour peak. So basically, the same 6,000 people are playing the game right now.
Yeah.
Compared to
they'll be the same ones that are paying attention to everything. The same ones that know all the details about how much has changed, how much better the game is. And the people that they want to come back aren't the people who are playing the game to see that it's better as it gets better, to see that new maps are better, to see that Forge is better, to see that network co-op really works, to see that, like these new modes they added are awesome. Some of the new maps are awesome. Some of the new ideas that came up are awesome. None of that stuff that's the 6,000 people that keep playing the game will see all that. And the people that they want to come back are going to be like, yeah, I'll wait for the next Halo.
Interested. Let's see. Let's look at the store. Don't they show it under what is it under? Is it top free to play games? Top free games? Is what
Is it?
the most
I
played
don't.
games?
I don't know how
I forget. Oh, trending games. I think it's under most. Oh, most popular right here. So, so Minecraft is still number one.
Of course,
Then we got FIFA, and then
of
let's see,
course.
Forza is still in the top three. Rainbow
Let's go.
Six,
Of
Forza
course, as
4.
usual.
Oh, there's Halo. Halo is number
6.
six. Six on the console. Seven on the console. So obviously they're still playing it. There's still people playing it on because you got to take these two together because one is the campaign and one is the
Your your
single player.
your marquee game. Gaming ad says most played, but this says most popular. So I mean, like, is that the same thing?
Yeah, you would think it is. It's under most recently added.
Well, go back and see if you see a most played instead of most popular.
New.
Maybe they've been making a lot of changes to the
Yeah,
UI.
they probably
So
changed it up a little bit, but you would still think that popular with friends, movies, whatever. But if you go under popularity, it's because you recently played games
he said left and find most played. I don't.
on the left side, games. Oh, right here. Yep, most played. Thank you, Addict. All right, most play. So this is the most played games as of right now. Fortnite,
That
number
makes
one.
way more
That
sense.
makes more
Fortnite's
percent.
It
All
makes
right,
way more sense now.
Call of,
Thank you, gaming
thank
addict.
you, Addict. Call of Duty's number
One
2.
is Fortnite. Yes, 2 is Warzone. Was it 3? Was that NBA 2K? Yeah, because that just came out. That makes total sense. Apex Legends is 4. Roblox is 5. So of course my son is one of those that just
Yep,
won't stop
my
playing
daughter
that.
is too.
GTA Online. So the for top 6, probably you probably see our mainstays out here. Destiny 2 is 7. What was that? What's that after Destiny 2? Is that
Siege.
Siege?
Siege.
Siege. Madden is 9.
Rocket
Rocket League
League.
10. Fall Guys 11. Minecraft 12. Then there's Forza at like 13. The old Call of Duty from 2 years ago at 14.
This is getting
Dead by
bad.
Daylight, which is really popular with streamers, is 14. Red Dead 2. Wow. That's kind of a shocker at 15.
And then you
Then
get
at 16 is Halo.
right in front of Madden. Which I guess
The old Madden.
that's a new Madden.
Is it?
That's
Go back up.
That's
You
20.
didn't say Madden?
Madden 23. That's Madden 23.
Oh man. Madden is falling hard, bro. God dang. You just came out and you already on the second, third row? Good grief.
Yeah. It's on the third row. It's already
But like
yeah.
the fact that Halo is not top 5 on this platform. More people are, yeah, as Alec has said in caps, more people playing Dead by Daylight than Halo.
Yeah.
You would not catch me ever play Dead by Daylight. Look, it might be a fun game, but I just refuse that play that kind of janky nonsense. So no, not me. 2-year-old Call of Duty is that came out before Halo Infinite is being played more. And scroll up, to the top played ones. Destiny, which is like ancient, is still up there. Siege is even older than Destiny 2. That's still up there. Rocket League is older than just as old as both of them. Still up there. This is what when you deliver content and people are satisfied, they play the game.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's a look. Fortnite's number 1. Fortnite has mastered we keep things fresh to keep people engaged. Like I'm now playing Fortnite in 0 build only, right?
right.
But last week, just for a week, they added in these fire arrows. So like these bow and arrows that like when you hold the string, it lights your arrows on fire. You can just burn the forces down. You can burn there. You can burn people's cover. It changes the game, They just throw things like that in there, little things here and there to kind of keep it fresh, And They do it on a far more frequent basis than other games do.
Mm. Yeah, man, it's for and that's and like I said, this is the free to play version for the multiplayer. So how far do you got to go down to get the campaign?
Oh, keep going then. Let's see where campaign's
It's
at. I
not
mean,
even. It's not even. It's not even up there.
I'm not surprised Overwatch is up there because Overwatch is. I think people are playing Overwatch in preparation of the sequel that's coming out. Smite.
Right. So
Is Smite even still getting like what? Hold up. Fallout 76
yeah, the pit.
is
Yeah.
on this list,
Yep. Sure is.
but the Halo campaign isn't.
Oop. Far Cry 5 is. UFC 4.
Far Cry 5. That's not even the most recent Far Cry, right? But there are
No.
6.
Yeah, there's a 6. Sims 4.
It's
Not
sad,
even
man.
not even Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Wildlands, the one before it.
What? Well, first of all, Wildlands is fire,
Wildlands is good.
and I think it's probably up there because it's in Game Pass. But Wildlands, I love. I
That's
freaking
true.
love Wildlands.
Game Pass will definitely skew this number, but then Halo's in Game Pass too. So
Exactly. So,
Sea of
and it's
Thieves.
free to play.
Well,
So,
guess what? At least it's beating Sea of Thieves and Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I like seeing
Warframe. Look at Warframe. Look at
I know. I
Warframe.
like seeing Warframe. I like seeing Immortal Phoenix Rise up here too.
Yeah.
'Cause that's in Game Pass too. Yeah, man. So, like you said, it's not beating down on Halo. It's just at a certain point, you just gotta kind
It's a
of,
reality
yeah,
thing.
it's a reality right now where we are. So you got anything else you want to add to the Halo conversation? I think we pretty much beat a dead horse
No,
on this one.
no. I want to. Yeah, as the addict just said, this is. I'll sum it up with that. It's just being realistic. Like people gotta understand where the game sits, and these are the things that like the 343 new leadership with Xbox Game Studios leadership is going to sit down and discuss when they make decisions on what to do with the game going forward. You know, you have to be realistic with where it is, and like you're going to sink a lot of time and money into trying to fix something that ultimately only a minuscule number of the people who initially played your game are going to engage with. So you can take some of that stuff that you're working on, you can turn it into potentially a new game that people will then may actually draw their attention. There's some people that might be like, like, I'm done with Halo forever, but I don't think that's the majority of gamers out there. I think there's a lot of gamers that's done with Halo Infinite,
Right.
but they're not done with Halo in general, So like you have that opportunity to kind of bring things back. But
I agree.
yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the final last topic. It's gonna be a quick one too. The way too early game of the year contenders for 2023.
Spell check.
Where?
2, man. It should be 2
Oh, two T.
TOO
Yeah,
and this
two.
is
Oh,
2.
yeah. Okay, yeah, two. Yeah, two. Yeah, the way too early game of the year contenders for 2023. Slow mo. After seeing, so we got a really good picture of next year. Sony, I think they're gonna probably do another state of play, but we got some information on what's coming out for them. We also know what Nintendo has in store for us next year. We pretty much have an idea what Microsoft's gonna hopefully have out for us next year. If you had to put bets on not even play any of these games, what do you think game of the year? What do you think is going to have, lead in front of front, basically?
Next year. I'll start out with what is like obvious. Probably first, let me also pull up a list of what's coming out next year because I'm probably going to forget some stuff, which people in the chat will remind me
They're
of. But
definitely going to remind you.
Starfield, I think, will probably be an early contender. Even though I didn't particularly wasn't too excited about the gameplay reveal, and I'm probably not going to play it. But there are tons of Bethesda fans out there that are into it, and into just Bethesda games in general. And I think just off of the strength of that alone, it probably would get a nomination.
Hmm.
I think. Uh, if it does actually come out, which the only reason I'm going to list this game because there is no actual release date for it, but it's rumored to be coming out next year. The only reason I'm going to even list this game is because the studio that's making it is usually money when it comes to releasing games, and that's Insomniac with Spider-Man 2.
Mm.
So I think that probably will if that releases next year, it's a guarantee game of the year contender off of the strength of the previous game. And the fact that Insomniac is just a damn good developer. I'm not going. I know some people would probably list this, but Hogwarts Legacy, I don't think it's going to be a game of the year contender. I don't think it's going to be that good. Uh, Resident Evil 4 remake has that potential. If it's made by, I think it's being made by the same team that did Resident Evil 2 remake, and if that's the case, then yeah, it's got a lot of potential there. Outside of that, what else is coming out next year, man?
Hogwarts comes out next year.
Yeah, I already said I don't think that's going to rate.
Well,
But
if you just think about
oh, my bad. What? Well, you know what? Final Fantasy 16 has the potential.
16 has the potential. Does it?
That has the potential. Rebirth
I was about to
also.
say Rebirth comes out next year too.
Well, they said winter 2023. Well, winter next. They said next winter is what they said.
Yeah.
Next winter could be anywhere from November of 2023 to January 2024. And I'm actually going to lean more towards January 2024 than it actually making 2023 or even making it before the deadlines for game of the year stuff. Attic in the chat says Callisto Protocol. I think that that definitely has opportunity.
Yeah, because it's gonna be after in December.
Outside of that, like
we
can't think of anything else.
We really haven't seen the indie darling yet, so we already know that's
and,
gonna be one.
And we normally don't see that until
middle
like
of the year.
I mean, I even don't even see it, and I jump on a lot of indie games until like it's like a few months before it comes out when I start to see like some really good like gameplay from those games. But most people don't get hyped for indies until they actually just drop, and everyone's like, "What?" Yeah, Black Mamba. Yeah, we did mention Final Fantasy 16. That was likely going to be a contender for game of the year. Well, it depends.
The contenders.
Because I mean, I'm one of the people that feels like Final Fantasy mainline games outside of the MMOs haven't really been good since 9. I'm that old, so yeah. 15 I thought was abysmal. I don't think Forspoken is going to get no. I think it looks better than some people think it does. I also don't think I think the story it looks is as cringe as will be as cringe as it looks though, and that might hold it back. We'll probably hold it back, but yeah.
No, I agree. But you already know where I'm falling.
Oh, how did we not mention this already?
What?
Zelda.
Oh, that's literally. I didn't say.
Yeah,
that's already where I'm falling.
Honestly,
that's where I'm falling.
That's going to be that's probably going to be game of the year.
Yeah, because I think
get contender. That's probably going to get game of the year.
No, that's going to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to get game of the year. It's going to win.
Yeah, that's going to win. I don't. The thing is, I really. So we're talking about games that we haven't even played yet. So everybody's going to say, well, what about Starfield? What about Redfall? I was like, yeah, I agree. What about those games? But we didn't play any of them yet. And when it comes to anticipation, none of those games have more anticipation than Tears of the Kingdom. None of them. That game has been anticipated for the last 3-4 years at this 3 years ever since the first Breath of the Wild came out. So I think it's unfortunate that Microsoft has to the first time that they have a real opportunity to have a game that's going to have a chance to win game of the year, it's going up against something like this. But also that's kind of what happened to Horizon not Forbidden West, Zero Dawn back in 2017. They had to deal with a game called Breath of the Wild that came out of nowhere and just pretty much swept everything at that point. Do I think it's going to be that much of a landslide this year? That's pretty much up to games like Redfall, not Redfall, but games like Starfield. Because I do think Starfield has a chance, but I don't know, man. That Breath of the Wild, if they fix the issues that people had with Breath of the Wild, with the open world being empty in some places, and that's pretty much
Dungeons and stuff. They like not having enough dungeons
yeah.
that make it feel like Zelda.
If
Yeah.
they fix that, bro, that everything else in that game was dang near perfect. They just need to fix those little things. And just looking at the gameplay trailers they put out, that's kind of where I said that they probably did put a lot of time in fixing it. And at this point, it's like by the time it comes out, we'll be 6 years since the last one. So
There's definitely going to be some multi, because we've mostly only spoken about exclusive or tab exclusive games.
exclusive game.
There's always a couple of multi-plats that end up in the nominations for as a contender. I'm thinking probably, like, I think Atlas Fallen has the opportunity if it's really as good as this initial trailer showed. I mean, damn, I can't think of trying to think of what else is supposed to be coming out next year. Stalker 2.
Oh yeah, Stalker 2.
That's timed exclusive, so
They
that
they gonna get a lot of love off that game.
that one might not even show up next year as well, but based upon like all the issues that the developer there is having with just being able to like work on the game in the midst of a war. But
Rodimus has said Forza Motorsport, absolutely. Hollow Knight Silk Song does come out.
No, absolutely not. What are we talking about? Forza Motorsport as a game of the year contender. This is the
listen, they might
y'all have to stop being so daggone delusional, yo. How did you we've been through this already. We went through this last year. Racers don't get nominated for game of the year. Forza Horizon 5 didn't get nominated for Game of the Year. Why would Forza Motorsport get nominated for Game of the Year? Gran Turismo 7 ain't getting close to a nomination for Game of the Year. Racers don't get nominated. They don't. You get lumped in the sports category. So you in the sports category, you fight for one. You fight for one award. You'll be Madden, FIFA, fighting against Gran Turismo 7 and whatever the heck else, the racer that came out this year from some random third-party publisher. Burnout did never won a game of the year, Big Matt Mo. Burnout for game of the year? GT7 is not getting nominated this year, Rodimus. Y'all are high, yo.
GT7 will be nominated this year.
Certain games don't get nominated, man.
GT7 does get nominated this year. It's something else.
Spider-Man did get nominated for Game of the Year, Dorian Gray.
It did. It
didn't win anything that year. Yeah. It got nominated. It got a lot of nominations and didn't win anything because it was going up against Red Dead and God of War for nearly everything it got nominated for.
If Red Dead literally won everything and God of War was like hold my beer at the very end.
Right. So Spider-Man came home with 0, even though they had like 5 or 6 nominations. I think that would be different with Spider-Man 2.
And they sold the most games of all those games.
Right. And they sold more games than both. Probably not Red.
Actually, no, they did. They sold more than Red Dead. They sold 20 million. I think Red Dead was around 15, 16.
And like at launch, Red Dead was at like 15, 16.
Oh, no, yeah, at launch, yeah.
I think Red Dead probably outsold it. Now. Overall, right. But yeah, I mean, regardless, like it blew away God of War with sales, but that's about it. That's the only thing it really won. Rodman says, "I'm calling the Street Fighter 6 is winning it in."
Oh my god!
All right.
Rodimus is having fun in the chat right now.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
He said, Straight Duvall said if Spider-Man was a Pacquiao.
I don't agree with that. I think that's kind of disrespectful for Spider-Man.
Well, it kind of was a Pacquiao in 2018. They did sell it with the system.
But people wanted it.
They sold it during a holiday bundle. Anybody was going to buy it.
It wasn't a pack-in. Look, it wasn't a pack-in like Super Mario Bros for the Nintendo Entertainment. Like every single Nintendo Entertainment System that sold in the 80s had Mario Brothers with it. Every single Game Boy, original Game Boy sold with Tetris.
Every
That's why
Wii,
Tetris is the most sold game in history.
every
Okay,
Wii,
so it's just
every Wii had
Spider-Man's not like that. It's
Wii
not
Sports.
Pac-Man. It had a
No,
bundle.
it's
It
just
had a
funny.
freaking bundle.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just having fun with it. Star Wars Jedi Survivor will win next year. Hey, actually, that game.
Oh yeah,
that game.
is
That
that
game
coming
is.
out next year?
I don't know. Is it coming out next year? You know, EA.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's okay. That's it. That's it right there. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is the multi-plat game of the year nominee.
Stop it, Big Bad Mo. You know what Spider-Man is. He said, "What's Spider-Man?"
Oh my god, we need to move on. Let's wrap
no,
it up.
yeah, let's
bro.
get him out of here, man. First of all, do you want to shout out your channel members real quick? Do you have that list up?
Let me get it real quick.
I'll pull mine up. Yeah, man, we really appreciate everybody sticking by us throughout the day and the time Slow-Mo was going through his mental therapy because he wasn't feeling good. But he made it through the show. That's a great thing, though. Made it through the entire show.
Mental therapy? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I got stuck on words and just came up with something.
Okay, look, I'm not going through. I'm not going through mental therapy, people. Just
No, he's not. He's not going through mental therapy. So I'll start it out. Shout out to the supporters on this channel. Slow-Mo will do his. Shout out to Ham Solo. Shout out to Texas. I'm a rich swag lord. Shout out to Ramon Terrell, Replicant, Hargeet Kachadi, Sir Taz, Stardust Cicero, Rap Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Corey Hale, Cat Daddy Lurk, Erodimus, the homie Slow-Mo Backslap, DJ Oris, and that guy Smitty. Shout out to you guys for supporting us in that manner and powering the channel. Slow-Mo?
Shout out to Arch War Angel, Brat, Hargi Shani, Texas, Cat Daddy Lurk, Ham Solo, Truth Serum, Big Mike, Smokes 901, Erodimus, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Replicant, Bunty, Sir Taz, Forte, Corey Hale, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty. We appreciate you guys supporting us in this way. And we hope you guys enjoyed the episode and look out for the DPS channel. We're going to have some clips from this episode uploaded to that to have everything in that one concise space, and probably a live stream that will force Forte to play some Fortnite with me or something over the next week. So look out for that too.
Oh yeah, definitely down for that. Let me see. Said my name like Erodimus says, "Give for said my name like he was surprised or offended that I was a member." Absolutely, sir. You've been one of the staples, one of the mainstays.
Erodimus is so sensitive.
I know he
He's
is
the most sensitive man I've ever seen.
He's like one of the most supportive people in the community, and want to make it seem like, well, you don't love me enough. We love you, Erodimus. If you want to hear it, if you want to hear a grown man tell another grown man that he loves him, we love you, man. Appreciate it.
We don't love your crazy out of the world takes,
no, yeah,
but we
takes,
got love for you, bro.
Yeah, your takes be otherworldly, but it's all in the
alien.
It's all
extraterrestrial.
Oh Lord, it's all in fun though. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out the DPS channel. Slow-Mo will drop it in the chat for you guys so you can follow us over there. We'll be having some videos from this show up there over the course of the weekend so you guys can digest it over there too. But we will also have the audio versions up on Spotify and all the other places you want to watch and listen to your podcast. But outside of that, man, Slow-Mo, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me at Slow-Mo Backslap on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. Damn, everything is Slow-Mo Backslap.
Do you have a TikTok for real?
I do have a TikTok, yeah. As of right now, I'm just uploading like highlights from games I'm playing. So that's it, really. But get my feet wet in TikTok, you know. I don't really know how TikTok works, honestly. So I'm trying to figure it out.
You like Kevin Durant out here? How does this stuff work?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
said,
Yeah.
"How did I love that video?" Kevin Durant just turned the camera on, and was like, "Man, how does work?" That was so funny. All right, man. Well,
Don't expect to see any TikTok dances or some crap like that. I ain't doing none of that
Oh
nonsense.
man, Rodman said Slow Mo should do a kneecap TikTok.
See, this is the disrespect I get. It's fine. It's fine.
But they just let you know that they want to support you in other ways, and I guess that's part of it. For myself, Gaming Forte everywhere. You already on the channel. Follow on Twitter, gaming_forte. And we will see you guys next week. And please enjoy the games that you're playing. Enjoy your weekend, and enjoy the podcast when you listen to it. If you ain't listened to it over the course of the last couple of weeks. Peace. We out.